The cold echoes of the Montreal Forum still linger in the soul of this franchise, a building that once housed dynasties, legends etched into its ice, banners raised into the heavens. The Montreal Canadiens, the most storied team in hockey history. But in the modern NHL, their legacy has felt more like a ghost than a living force. And yet, something is stirring. This summer, a conversation changed the way Montreal sees itself. Not a press conference, not a media scrum, just a private call, player to coach, spilling into the public consciousness like a spark in the night. Jayden Struble revealed that after the Canadiens landed Noah Dobson, head coach Martin St. Louis picked up the phone. He didn't just welcome his defensemen back to the fold. He told them something far bolder. He told them this: "We have the best defense corps in the NHL." Those words were not cautious. They weren't meant to temper expectations. They were a declaration. And in Montreal, a city where hockey is religion, those words hit like a thunderclap. To understand why, you have to step back. For decades, the Canadiens' reputation was forged on dominance from the back end. Larry Robinson, Serge Savard, Chris Chelios, Shea Weber. Montrealers have always understood championships are built on the blue line. But in recent years, that blue line was anything but legendary. Aging veterans, injuries, young players learning under fire. The Habs became defined not by suffocating structure, but by growing pains. Then came the trade. The Canadiens pulled the trigger on Noah Dobson, the 24-year-old star from the New York Islanders. A defenseman who blends vision with poise, a player already carrying whispers of Norris Trophy potential. His arrival didn't just fill a hole, it transformed the narrative. Suddenly, the Canadiens' defense wasn't just serviceable. It was a strength. Look at the names: Noah Dobson, Kaiden Guhle, Jayden Struble, David Savard, Jordan Harris, Lane Hutson waiting in the wings, a prodigy of creativity. Justin Barron, still scratching the surface of his game. A mix of youth, promise, and proven stability. In the modern NHL, where speed and puck movement dictate survival, Montreal's back and looks less like a patchwork and more like a blueprint. So when Martin St. Louis called his players and told them they had the best defense corps in the league, was it hyperbole? Or was it a glimpse into a truth the rest of the NHL hasn't yet realized? There's history in this kind of boldness. Coaches have long used words as weapons. Al Arbour in the Islanders dynasty. Scotty Bowman with these very Canadiens. Declaring strength before the world could see it. Planting belief inside the locker room before planting fear in opponents. But St. Louis isn't Scotty Bowman. He's something else entirely. A coach born not of systems, but of defiance. A man who was told he was too small, too slow, too limited, and who fought his way to a Hall of Fame career. His philosophy is simple: believe before others do. That phone call wasn't just about defense pairings. It was about identity. And yet, words come with consequences. Montreal fans know the pain of high expectations. The echoes of 1993, the last time the Stanley Cup paraded down St. Catherine Street, still weigh heavy. Every bold statement is a double-edged sword. What if the Canadiens stumble? What if injuries strike again? What if the so-called best defense corps can't withstand the pressure of being hunted instead of overlooked? This isn't just about a roster. It's about hope in a city desperate for revival. But consider the timing. Cole Caulfield, locked in as the offensive spark plug. Nick Suzuki, steady as captain. Uri Slavkovsky growing into his frame and confidence. And now, a defense that may finally anchor a rebuild, transitioning into a renaissance. Montreal has lived in transition for too long. Draft picks, prospects, patience. What St. Louis declared was not patience. It was intent. If the Canadiens truly have the NHL's best blue line, then the rebuild is no longer about waiting. It's about competing. It's about bringing back the intimidation factor of the crest itself. There's a parallel here to the 1976 to 77 Canadiens, often called the greatest team in NHL history. That team didn't just win, they dominated through balance. Ken Dryden in net, Guy Lafleur scoring with ease, but the true backbone? A defense so deep, opponents rarely cross the blue line without being punished. That kind of dominance hasn't been seen in decades. But Montreal fans, battered by years of mediocrity, hear as to Lewis's words in wonder. Is history daring to repeat itself? The league, of course, won't take this lightly. The Tampa Bay Lightning, still boasting Victor Hedman. Colorado, with Cale Makar redefining the position. Nashville, with Roman Josi. To call Montreal's defense the best is to invite challenge. But maybe that's the point. For too long, the Canadiens have been a shadow of themselves, defined by nostalgia instead of presence. What St. Louis did was simple. He dragged Montreal out of the shadows. By telling his players they're the best, he dared them to prove it. The season ahead won't be easy. Every mistake on that blue line will be magnified. Every goal against will bring skeptics roaring back. But belief is contagious. And in a league of parity, belief often separates the contenders from the forgotten. Montreal is no longer whispering about its future. It's speaking, loudly, into the present. When Jayden Struble shared his coach's words, he didn't just give fans a soundbite. He gave them a vision, a declaration that the Canadiens' blue line is not only a strength, but a foundation. The question is no longer whether the Canadiens are rebuilding. It's whether the NHL is ready for a Montreal defense that might, just might, be the best in the world. And so, the echoes of the Forum may not just be memories after all. They may be a prophecy. What do you think? Are the Canadiens truly ready to reclaim their identity through the blue line? Or are they walking into the storm of expectation too soon?